Back inside the Coliseum as day 2 of competition for the individuals rolls on here at the 2021 NOBULL CrossFit Games. It's event 6 of 15, but event 6, we're taking the traditional speed clean ladder and we're gonna twist it.
Twist it pretty good because we're adding a 200-meter run before each clean, and now we have event 6 here. Event 7 will be later, but this is gonna be a very, very fast-paced event as we make our way into the Coliseum.
Fourth and final heat underway, and Jeff Adler still at the top time. 5:45.01 seconds. Only 4 men have been able to complete this event inside that 6-minute time cap.
5 minutes and 45.
One athlete we didn't touch on in the beginning is actually Jonakowski. When you think about it, an aerobically dominant athlete, that's Jonakowski. I mean, look at what he did in the long swim and paddle on day 1. But the guy's got some decent strength so for these barbells, it's really gonna come down to giving yourself enough time to get around for all 5 rounds. I mean, this compressed time frame, it's like a pressure cooker, right? The more you add, the more intense, the more heat you're gonna get. And that's what that time cap's doing in this event.
Lazer Jukich is the first man back in, followed by Gudmundsson, Uday, Koski, Medeiros, Fikowski, Saxon Pancic, Pat Vellner, Scott Pancic, and then Henrik Hapalainen. Jukich is the first man done, and then it's just a mad dash behind him.
Good move by Brent Fikowski to get himself out of traffic.
Lazer Jukich back in. Saxon Pancic, first man to the barbell, followed by Fikowski, Vellner, and Medeiros. Saxon is now your leader in the heat, followed by Brent Fikowski, Justin Medeiros, and Pat Vellner. Pat Vellner is trying to reel in Jonakowski. Koski has a 7-point lead on Vellner for 3rd place. And Pat Vellner, who just left view on the left side of your screen, is ahead of Jonakowski. Vellner trying to pick up points on Koski and get into a spot in the top 3. Here comes Saxon Pancic. He'll head to the 285-pound barbell. No problem for Saxon. Fikowski, Vellner, and Medeiros behind him. And Fikowski and Vellner, that was synchronized. Medeiros now back in 4th place. Henrik Hapalainen is done. He, Gudmundsson, and Jukich back out on the run. Uday is with him as well. And Jonakowski. Saxon Pancic now to 3:05.
You can't rush this lift. We saw some athletes miss one, and that basically killed the rest of their event.
Pancic will squat clean that one. Here come Vellner, Medeiros, and Fikowski as Pancic exits the building. Vellner's done first, just ahead of Fikowski.
Medeiros had to squat clean that one. That's not a negative.
1 barbell remains, 1 minute 15 seconds left in this event.
That's gonna be really close. And here's what's happening on the last run. You just have lactic acid dumping into your muscles, but the scary part about that is what that does is that it prohibits your muscles from firing at 1,000%. That's what a lactic acid dump does. Now you're gonna bring it into a max clean lift at the end.
Here comes Saxon Pancic. Less than 30 seconds to go, now 20 seconds to go as he steps up to 3:15. Adler's gonna win the event, but who will win this heat?
Now Pancic had to squat the last bar.
He will do it. Pat Vellner right to work. Vellner not able to make it. Pancic is in, Fikowski can't make it. Medeiros will stand it up,
wow.
May have enough time, and Medeiros is in. Here are the overall men's standings now. Brent Fikowski just 6 points up on Justin Medeiros, and Patrick Vellner climbs up another spot, is now in 3rd place overall. Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson 11 points back of him.
When an event like this, where it's coming down to 2nd separating place finishing, no one is safe 1st through 6th at the moment.
Nothing gets the crowd going like the heavyweights, and this crowd is now properly warmed up for the women's action here in event number 6. Final heat is underway. 6:12.36 seconds is the time to beat.
A very competitive heat. Your top lady.
And you look at the skill set of all these athletes that are in this heat. Brook, Wells, Horvath, Barnhart, Toomey, Katrin. They're all great aerobically, and they're some of the strongest athletes in the field, which is the perfect combination for event number 6, specifically because of the weights that we have on the bars.
Brook Wells is out front on the run, but remember they do have to return to their lanes. Wells 10th place overall right now, finished 15th in event number 5, but before that she was 2nd and 4th.
Wells out early. And Wells is one of those athletes that she can ride the crowd in events like this.
She's at the far end of the floor, but it's Tia Toomey right along with Horvath and Wells to the barbell, and that may as well have been empty for those 3 athletes. Amanda Barnhart, who has gone toe-to-toe with Tia Toomey in a lifting event a couple of years ago here at the Coliseum.
See, the better runners are going to make some moves here. That's when you see your Irma O'Connells, your Holtas, and your Adams. But you need both.
Toomey's going to get back to her lane before Brook Wells. The Toomey in the lead just ahead of Wells. Christy Irma O'Connell is dead even with Brook Wells. And Laura Horvath got to the barbell 3rd, but the 3 of them finished at the same time. So top 4, Toomey, Wells, Horvath, Irma O'Connell, and Amanda Barnhart. And Kristen Holt just doing what she does, hanging out in the top 5 in this heat. Christy Irma O'Connell in 4th place right now, trying to cut into Kristen Holta's lead. Holta sits in 3rd place overall. Holta leads Irma O'Connell by 39 points. Tia Toomey back in ahead of Brook Wells. Toomey still in 1st place in this final heat. And Christy Irma O'Connell, though, making up some ground on the run. She has moved into 2nd place. Brook Wells, far end of the floor, is in 3rd.
That was a great run for O'Connell. And a good clean.
Is through that. Brook Wells, no problem. They are your top 3. Laura Horvath looking to stay in 4th place. She is done. Holta and Barnhart done at the same time. Mal O'Brien, closest to the camera, hits her lift. Haley Adams is through. Katrin Davidsdottir and Emma Tall, the final 2 women to hit that 185-pound barbell. Now, Toomey is in. Now, Christy Irma O'Connell will make the turn a couple of lanes earlier than Toomey. And there goes O'Connell down the floor. And they're now neck and neck. Irma O'Connell looking like she's going to get to the barbell at the exact same time as Tia Toomey, but Tia Toomey wasting no time on the barbell. Irma O'Connell almost into a full squat. Brook Wells is in 3rd, and now Kristen Holta just coming into view now on the barbell in the silver weightlifting belt, squat cleaning that weight. She is through. Now she is ahead of Haley Adams, who now just stepped into view. And as tight as this event is, as Haley Adams fails, you can make up a lot of points as Mal O'Brien just got through. Haley Adams, Katrin Davidsdottir, and Emma Tall still at 195. Now Haley Adams is the only woman has yet to complete that lift as Irma O'Connell is trying to track down Tia Toomey. Adams will hit it.
Yeah, but that was a tough lift for Adams, even on the successful attempt.
And remember, only 12 points separate Haley Adams from Kristen Holta in the overall standings. Adams currently in 2nd, Holta is in 3rd.
Now you know Irma's going to want to push the pace, but on this last bar, you cannot make a mistake with this last clean.
Time to beat will not last much longer. Irma O'Connell, same time as Toomey. Tia Toomey hits it. Tia Toomey, another win.
Ridiculous.
Irma O'Connell will take 2nd. That is huge for her.
She didn't even hesitate to pick up that bar.
Brook Wells has a chance to finish 3rd in the event because Gabriella Magala's time of 6:12 is now the 3rd best. She can't hit the bar. Here comes Kristen Holta.
There
Kristen
she is.
Holta just laying in the weeds and striking at the end. Barnhart is in. Horvath is in. Now Brook Wells has finished. Mal O'Brien stepping up to 205 at the bottom of your screen, and here comes Katrin Davidsdottir.
Now Mal has the strength.
No problem for the 17-year-old. And now Katrin Davidsdottir. Davidsdottir strongly won't be able to hit it. Haley Adams is back in. She's belting up. 20 seconds to go before we hit the time cap. This would be huge for Adams.
She also needs to be very careful.
10 seconds. Adams is good. David's on her on the right of your screen. Will make it, but will not be able to get across the finish line. So damage control for Haley Adams right there. Getting in inside the time cap.
And for careful, I was like, listen, it's the last rep prior to that was a little shaky.
582 points now to sit atop the overall leaderboard. Kristen Holt now moves into second, and it's Christy Aramo O'Connell who is in third. Haley Adams drops all the way down to fourth place.
But what about Aramo O'Connell and Holt sitting in second and third? Basically the American and Norwegian version of each other on the leaderboard. That was a huge event for them to boost themselves up into podium contention now. Heavier barbells.
The fun is not over. Oh no, we were just getting warmed up in event 6. It's men's event 7 of 15 now. And the weights are getting even bigger.
The last bar for the men was 315, and the first bar in event number 7 is 325. So this is gonna just an extension of the clean ladder that we just did in event number 6.
Here we go, final heat, 451.61, the time to beat.
This is a very important event for Brent Fikowski. Right? This is, I don't want to say damage control.
We're going to find out what's going to happen here as our athletes.
But we're flirting with that upper line of where his limit is as far as a clean is concerned, right? He's got wonderful technique and good strength, but what we've seen so far is what he's trying to do is not lose points to other athletes that are trying to chase him down. The problem is the ones that are running him down, on paper, are better at this event than he is.
Andre Uday, the first man in, and he's sort of this year's Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson. The guy's sitting in 9th place. He's a rookie. And Uday will be the first man to the barbell. And he will hit that as Scott and Saxon Panchik on the right side of your screen are synchronized. Justin Medeiros and Pat Vellner. Vellner's struggling a little bit. Medeiros is through first. And Brent Fikowski right behind him. But Scott Panchik, who's gotten through that knee injury. Andre Uday making the turn. He'll be the first man ahead of Saxon Panchik to get to the 335-pound barbell. Justin Medeiros now stepping up as both Uday and Panchik are good. Scott Panchik hits his. Medeiros will be through his lift before either Fikowski or Vellner get to the barbell. Medeiros is only trying to make up 6 points on Fikowski for the overall lead.
Vellner looked much better on that lift than he did in lift 1, but we've seen that so far. Being the first bar, a heavy bar, heavier than what they ended with in event number 6.
And this is how close it is. Brent Fikowski just 6 points up on Justin Medeiros for that overall lead. Pat Vellner has been steadily moving up the leaderboard. He now sits in third, but only 11 points up on Saxon Panchik.
Saxon moving up ahead on that last run.
And he is walking up to the 340-pound barbell. He gets there just ahead of Andre Uday and gets right to work. Saxon's lift is good, and he is your new leader.
He's looking better.
The time to beat, 451.61. Uday is good. Justin Medeiros is good as Scott Panchik fails his lift. Now here comes Pat Vellner. And behind him is Brent Fikowski. Vellner at 340 is good.
Vellner's getting better every barbell.
Brent Fikowski will hit that.
That was his best lift. He was shaky on the first 2 sets.
But there is still the battle for the podium and the top spot on the line here in heat number 4. The Saxon Panchik up to 345.
Medeiros is creeping up on his left.
Saxon will hit that. Here comes Justin Medeiros. He is in the middle of your screen, middle right. And no problem for him. Andre Uday on the left side. He will hit that. Pat Vellner is ahead of Brent Fikowski. Here comes Scott Panchik as well. Pat Vellner, bottom right, hits 3:45. Brent Fikowski and Scott Panchik now to 3:45. And both of them will stand that up. Saxon Panchik, your leader. Guy Majeros officially wins his second event of the CrossFit Games.
Getting ready to attempt 350, but all eyes are on this young
Here comes Saxon Panchik looking to win the heat. And he has a shot if he hurries at 4th place in the event. 5:37.32 seconds is the 4th best time. Royce Dunn looks like he's going to hang on to that, which means Zach Watts' time of 5:47 in 5th place is where Saxon is looking to land. And Saxon will hit that. And the younger Panchik shining inside the Coliseum and looking to get himself into the top 3. Justin Medeiros is in, and he may be your new leader. Here comes Pat Vellner.
There's 3 points Medeiros needs.
Andre Uday helping out Medeiros. Medeiros right now 7th place in the event. Pat Vellner, he is through. Vellner makes it on top of the finished podium. Vellner will take 11th.
And there's 6 points Medeiros needed on Fikowski.
But Brent Fikowski is trying to stay inside the top 3. He will make 350. He is up. And Brent Fikowski will take 13th in event 7. That is a difference of 36 points.
Wow.
Justin Medeiros unofficially will be your new overall leader, so Fikowski might want to cut the sleeves off of that leader's jersey and just hand it to Medeiros to go with that sweet mullet.
Now the thing with Fikowski is, yes, he lost the points at potentially the top position, but he was not upset with his performance, knowing that this is not going to be an event that's good for him.
Jordan Carl Gudmundsson is in. Gudmundsson, that will be 23rd in the event. And now Jonakoski is across. Less than 30 seconds to go before we hit the time cap. And it's Lazer Jukich, who is the last man on the floor. He and his brother both competing here at the CrossFit Games like Scott and Saxon Panchik. And Jukich drawing on the energy from the crowd, and he is in. Every man in the final heat gets in inside that 8-minute time cap, and it's Justin Medeiros and Saxon Panchik who steal the show. Saxon Panchik will take a 5th place as he will move ahead, most likely of Pat Vellner for 3rd place. 7th overall is Guy Majeros. Justin Medeiros is your new leader. 571 points. Brent Fikowski drops to 2nd at 559. Saxon Panchik leapfrogs Pat Vellner, who drops back down to 4th, but only 7 points back of Saxon Panchik. 3 Canadians inside the top 5 as Alex Vigneault sits in 5th. Women's event 7 coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, it looks the same, 200-meter run-ish, one clean, a little bit heavier, but it's a completely different event than what we saw in event number 6.
Can anybody catch Gabriella Magala? 5:13.84 seconds. That is the top time as we begin the final heat. Amanda Barnhart out front ahead of Brooke Wells, Tia Toomey and Laurel Horvath in that mix there. Toomey and Barnhart, followed by Horvath, Wells, Irma O'Connell, Holta, and Mal O'Brien. 210 should not be a problem for any of these athletes.
I like the squat clean from Toomey. Knowing that she might have to default that to the later rounds, it's good to get that practice in early because the time advantage isn't necessarily there for just a single repetition. So I like that move from Tia-Clair.
Catherine Davisdottir and Haley Adams failed their opening lifts. Haley Adams back to the barbell. And this is not good for Haley Adams, who right now sits in 4th place. Was inside the top 3 heading into event 6 and may fall further down the leaderboard after this. Catherine Davidsdottir is underneath 210, and she cannot hit that.
And these are two things that are no surprise to if you know your events and you know your history, is that these are going to be major damage controls for these two athletes.
Tia Toomey, no problem at 215. Horvath clears 215. Now Amanda Barnhart, and that is good.
And that's classic Barnhart. She just has so much raw power when it comes to this lift.
And right now, Laura Horvath is ahead of the 2 women right in front of her. Make that the 3 women in front of her in the overall standings. Adams, O'Connell, and Holta.
Tia is just sprinting down the course.
Now 220 for Toomey, and she doesn't waste any time. Laura Horvath.
Good for
Will
Laura.
hit 220.
She's strong.
Horvath in 2nd place in this heat behind Tia Toomey is Amanda Barnhart. Is now at 220 pounds, and Amanda Barnhart power cleaned that.
Tell you what, we may have 3 women in this heat beat Magala's time that we thought was almost untouchable by the way it looked.
5:13.84 seconds is that time, and only 2 barbells remain for the top 3 women in this heat.
Look how fast Tia Toomey is running.
If Toomey can win this event, she would tie Matt Fraser with 29 career event wins, and Toomey right to 225. And that is no problem for the woman who competed for Australia in the Olympics in weightlifting. And now Laura Horvath really helping her cause as she continues to put some distance between herself, Christy Aramo O'Connell, Haley Adams, and Kristen Holta. Amanda Barnhart ripping that barbell off the ground. Tia Toomey is about ready to smash another top time and smash another barbell. The 4-time champ with 1 lift remaining. 230 pounds between Tia Toomey and her 29th career event win. Did you expect anything else? Tia Toomey goes 2 for 2 inside the Coliseum on day 2. And now Laura Horvath. This is big for Laura Horvath.
Big for Laura Horvath.
She won't
I love that.
Beat Magala, or she will, pardon me, beat Magala. 2nd place overall.
Barnhart has an opportunity to beat Magala as well.
Now Barnhart has a couple seconds to go. Magala's time is going to stand in 3rd, but Barnhart will take 4th in the event.
Here we go, our next athlete, Christy O'Connell.
Christy Aramo O'Connell at 230.
Dang.
Damage control for her, that's big because of what Laura Horvath was able to accomplish.
But that's great to solidify her top 3 position more. I mean, damage control at a 535, that's pretty good damage control.
There's Brooke Wells and Kristen Holta, the next 2 women up to 230.
Wells has got to get her elbows around a little bit higher.
Mal O'Brien on the right can't stand it up. Kristen Holta will miss as Wells comes in, and all of this great for both Aramo O'Connell and Laura Horvath.
Here goes Emma Tall, and she gets underneath it, and she stands up.
Emma Tall is through.
Jumping into that end zone.
8-minute time cap here. Tall will take 6th in the heat and 12th in the event as Kristen Holta fights through that, and she is across. Now here's Mal O'Brien. And Mal O'Brien nails that lift.
Much better on this 2nd attempt.
Catherine Davidsdottir and Haley Adams still on the floor. Davidsdottir is through 220. Tia Toomey with another event win inside the Coliseum. A 2nd and 2 firsts so far in this building. Tia Toomey is well on her way towards tying that mark. 682 total points here.
Hey, Kristen, Holt, and Chrissy O'Connell survived the cleans, but Laura Horvath just a handful of points out of a podium position for the first time since 2018.
12 points are all that separate Kristen Holt from Laura Horvath in fourth place, and Amanda Barnhart now in fifth. Gabriella Magala continuing to creep up. She sits in sixth place overall. Plenty of action still to come here. Stay with us at the 2021 NOBULL CrossFit Games.